Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody. This is Wednesday, and this is Anda Hart welcoming you to our Wednesday call with Dr. Kathryn May, bringing you Mother, Father, God, and other cosmic masters. Not only cosmic masters, but our dear Master Zorra from Hollow Earth. We join the heavens and the inner earth together on this call. It is just amazing. Just to give you a little insight as to what we're doing here, Dr. Kathryn May is a practicing clinical psychologist and has been in private practice in New York City and the Hudson Valley area for about 35 years. She has been practicing her own very unique technique called visual centering. We may learn a little bit more about it. I've heard the masters comment on the technique, not by name, but by mentioning the center of the brain. But we'll let Kathryn tell us more about that. If you want to go to her website, which is whoneedslight.org, that's whoneedslight.org, O-R-G. You'll see the enticing message, when God pinched my toe. I don't think any of us have had our toes pinched by God, but Kathryn has. And that started the whole thing. And if you go to the very top tab that says it says channeled info. Yeah. And when you click on channeled info, you're hooked, because you get to follow in Kathryn's footsteps and see how it all began. It's just intriguing. What a saga. And now we've all become part of it. So I'm going to introduce Dr. May now. Again, this is Anda Hart. I do have a website called HollowEarthNetwork.com and the sister site, EarthAscends.com, where you will find Dr. May's page. The tab is titled Mother, Father. And on that page, you'll see all of the messages. We get 3 written messages a week through Dr. May, as well as this live interactive call that is just about ready to begin. So I'm going to turn it over to Kathryn and see what she has in store for us today, and I'll be talking to you later. Kathryn?
Hi, Anne. I love your introductions. You sound so welcoming. It makes me want to be here. So I'm not sure what's going on tonight, except that there's a phone ringing here that's not supposed to be. I've been told that Mother, Father, God are going to come, and also I think Zorra. I'm not sure in what form or how he's going to appear, but I think he may tap me on the shoulder. We'll see. And then I will channel him best I can. I've been practicing a little bit to leave my body so he can take over. It still feels a little strange, but I'm working on it. So we'll see how we can do with that. And also Saint Germain especially wants to be here tonight. So we'll see what he has to say. I had the feeling he had something interesting to tell us. Well, it's always interesting, but something special. So that's all I know so far. And they were kind of keeping me in the dark. They didn't give me any details or, any introduction or any information about what they're going to talk about. So we'll find out.
Oh, this is exciting, Kathryn. You know, even you have no inclination as to what we're going to hear, but with all the information that has been going through our network and our messages and our written messages and special calls this last week, we're all on the cutting edge, is my opinion. I just feel like something is imminent, and I've had people write and tell me they have that same feeling. So we'll give you a few minutes here, not a few minutes. You're probably ready now. I believe the next voice that we hear will be Mother, Father, God.
Yes. Hang on a moment. I'm just getting some help with this phone that keeps ringing. Okay.
Oh.
So, here we go.
Okay.
Hello, dear ones. Yes, here we are. We're so happy to be here with you again. And wasn't that call last Friday just wonderful? It was so much fun for us. So many people called in with those wonderful meditations and comments, and the energy was just so beautiful. It was thrilling to hear everyone sharing together the sense of a family. It was just lovely. And we're so glad that so many of you came. It was a spectacular day on planet Earth. There were so many groups of people meditating, sending their prayers, sending their visions of the kind of life they want to have on the planet. It was thrilling, and the light beams from the planet when that happens, just in so many places all over the globe. As the evening fell especially, we could see lights from all the big cities just running across the globe. You know, as the earth turned and the sun set in each place, there would be evening meditations. And you know, there was even a group in Times Square in New York doing yoga. Isn't that wonderful? People took their mats and rolled them right out in the town square, even in New York City. So other cities around the globe were doing the same thing. It was just thrilling, and we're so delighted at the response, especially in the U.S. This call is growing. More and more people are reading our messages. It's in the thousands, many thousands, maybe probably more than 10,000 read every message. So we're very happy about that. Now, let's see. We have not told Kathryn about what's going to happen tonight because we've been planning this amongst ourselves, and we know that that's okay with her. She'll go along with whatever we plan because she knows it will be something interesting, and she's came to hear new information too. So we don't always want to spoil the surprise for her either. So, yes, you are going to talk to Zorra. As you know, dear Billy and Jane are no longer being the focal point for Zorra's speech. He's not going to come through Billy any longer as of this week. So Kathryn will take that over, and Zorra will speak through Kathryn. So we will let you know when Zorra's ready to speak. And we will be, you might say, the co-hosts for tonight, along with Anne. So Kathryn has plenty of co-hosts. Isn't that fun? So let's see. Where shall we start? You all had a hard time with that message we gave you. That's not true. Not all of you, but many of you had a hard time. And probably those who had a really hard time are not listening tonight because they were angry at us. They said we were playing tricks, or we were being manipulative, or we were, there were terrible things that they said. But of course, we knew that would happen with some people. It's difficult when you've been disappointed and you've had your hopes up and you've been wanting this for so long. But of course, wanting it and being ready for it are two different things, aren't they? You have lived in a culture where anxiety, anger, depression, just general grumpiness is really the norm. So you haven't had a good model for how to prepare for ascension. Now, we've tried to put in the messages, as often as we could, the work that Kathryn does is to help people get to the point where you are in complete command of your feelings, your thoughts, and your actions. And that is the standard that we uphold. All the ascended masters are required to learn those skills. And that means that you would not be like the rest of the people around you if you have truly learned it. You will not be flying off the handle if something difficult or annoying happens. You wouldn't find yourself barking at someone on the phone who's rude to you, or swearing at someone who cuts you off as you're driving. You must learn that those responses simply make permanent in your brain those connections to anger, frustration, rage, grumpiness, all of those negative feelings. Everything on the negative scale from annoyance to rage. All of those things can, in fact, be eliminated. Now, that may sound to you like, well, what about being human? We wrote about this in our message. Being human does not mean that you have to make mistakes all the time. That favorite saying, of course, it's not true. It also does not mean that you have to be angry, or that you're going to be resentful or frustrated or overwhelmed or anxious. Those are conditioned responses. Those are the responses that have been trained into your nervous system since probably before you were born. When you are in the atmosphere of high anxiety, people who are constantly feeling stressed, people who are constantly feeling annoyed and offended, well, then you learn that that's normal. But, dear ones, that is not normal. We did not create this human condition to be in a state of frenzy or upset or anger. Those are emotions that have been learned. Now, of course, you have the capacity for those emotions, but it's a minimal capacity, in fact, in your system. The only reason it's so prevalent for so many of you is that it was trained in. Just like you would practice shooting baskets. Every day you were trained to be angry, upset, anxious, fearful, especially the fear. Fear brings out the worst in people, you know that. So here you are, having been stewing in this soup of high intensity emotions all your life. And now here we're saying, look, it's time to drop all that. Be calm, be patient. Well, many of you don't know how to be patient. In fact, you've probably never even known anyone who was patient. So it's not the human condition that's to blame. You have all of the capabilities to learn to manage your feelings very well. You just haven't had the training. And you haven't had the model for how to do that. Your model is mostly suppress your feelings and feel like you're being taken advantage of, or lash out and feel better. Well, that's a very strange combination of lessons. None of it's true. You don't have to squelch and suffocate yourself to hold in your emotions if you're around reasonable people. And that brings us to the next part of what you have to look forward to. A world in which there are reasonable people, especially the ones in charge. So you will have models, you will have people to look up to. But those of you who lost your cool when you read our message, well, it tells you you have something to work on. There's no shame in that. Everyone has to work on this. After you've lived a life in this culture, there's no shame in having to work at it to become patient. But isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it to spend an entire day, 24 hours, with not a hint of anxiety, not a moment of anger? And that you gain, dear ones, by learning the perspective that we are trying to teach you. We call it the true way. It is understanding where you came from and understanding that you, no one else, are responsible for the place you're in right now. And you are also responsible for all the feelings you express. Now, we won't say you're responsible for every feeling you feel. Some of those have been entrained into you, into your habits, your conditioning. And that's what we're asking you to uncondition. So begin with zero tolerance. No, it is not acceptable to me to be angry at my children. Even if I don't like something they did, there is no reason for me to be angry at a child. None. And if you find yourself getting angry at your children, look to, did they hurt my ego? Did they do something to embarrass me? Did they do something I told them not to? Mostly those are the reasons we get angry, aren't they? None of that is valid. There's no reason to be angry about something like that. You might want to talk about it. You might want an explanation from the child. You might want to explain to them how you feel. But no reason to get angry. Now, if you examine the last 3 things that happened to you that made you angry, I'll bet you can turn the lens on the kaleidoscope to another setting and see another facet, see the incident from another perspective, and you will find there is no reason to be angry. So, these are not our rules. These are the conditions for ascension. We don't make rules. The fact is, there are certain conditions in each dimension, and in order to happily ascend from one dimension to the next, you must be of the same vibration as that dimension you want to enter. It's very simple. The door's open, and if you know how to breathe that kind of air, then you walk right through. If you're not used to the energy levels, then you'll have to stop and learn some more. And always, as you ascend from one dimension to the next, you must raise your vibration. Now, you have been told many times that the negative feelings we've described lower your vibration. That is absolutely true. If you're feeling angry, it lowers your vibration to a 3D level. If you're feeling anxious, it lowers your vibration. Now, you can't be experiencing three-dimensional feelings and expect to ascend to the fifth dimension. That makes sense, doesn't it? So this is why we're telling you these things now, so that you can practice, so that you can take hold of yourself. Feel the sense of command you have when you say to yourself, I am done with that. I will not be yelling at people. Not ever again. Now, if you happen to slip once, no beating up on yourself. That's what makes it worse. That makes it harder to learn. But put your foot down between you and yourself. You don't have to tell anyone else that you're doing this. You don't have to announce to the world that you're never again going to be angry, because then that might make it harder. But this is between you and yourself. You know that you're the one who judges you most harshly. You're the one who feels badly when you do something that hurts another person, or that they left feeling uncomfortable or badly because of something you said. So you are already your most rigorous critic. So let's explain a little bit more about what you have called the trick we played on you. Well, it was not a trick. It was a very simple reversal. I think someone in your comments called it reverse psychology. What we know about you is that there are many of you who need to learn patience. Patience is a very interesting state of being. It's a combination of tolerance, compassion, love, and forgiveness. Can you feel all those things at once? That's patience. Now, a number of people were not able to muster sufficient patience when they found that we said there will be an announcement tomorrow, and the announcement did not come tomorrow. Well, we didn't do it in order to offend you or to upset you. We did it, well, do you have another word for test? We did it to challenge you, to challenge your patience. Now, the list of feelings we've described, compassion, love, forgiveness, tolerance, are exactly those feelings you need to cultivate in order to move into the fifth dimension. We did this challenge for you so that you could test yourselves, so that you could see if you're ready. How did you do? Did you pass the final exam to your own satisfaction? Let's underline that. To your own satisfaction. Were you able to keep your perspective and say, well, I don't know what this is about, but it sounds very strange. Mother, Father, God have always said they don't want to give dates. Now, why would they be giving us a date? Well, what are the possibilities? Either there really is something going to happen tomorrow, and that's why they're telling just us, or there's something going on here that we don't know about, something very puzzling. But if you were in a state of patience, you would not say, oh, well, Mother, Father, God are obviously jerking us around. Well, Mother, Father, God don't do that. Not ever. Not to our dear children. We would not do that. And if you have been here with us listening to these calls and reading these messages, you would know we would never do that to you. It would be unthinkable. We sometimes do things that we know will be for the greater good. And it was, wasn't it? If everyone needs to learn patience in order to ascend, then you need to check and make sure that your patience is in good shape. Well, some of you found your patience wasn't in such good shape yet. So now you can work on it. That was the purpose of it. And if you are really what you might call with the program, you would be thanking us, as many of you did. Many of you said, oh, I'm so relieved. I think I passed the test. I didn't fly off the handle. I didn't get upset. I was puzzled, but I didn't get angry. And those people felt very proud. So it was apparently a really good test for all of you to check yourselves. You know, if you think you have a fever, you get a thermometer and you put it under your tongue and you read it. And if you have a high temperature, it will show up there and you go, oh yes, that confirms it. Well, this was the same. You suspected that you might have a fever where the patience factor is involved. Well, we offered you the thermometer. And now it's up to you to measure yourself. But measure yourself with compassion and forgiveness. Do not beat yourself up because you got upset. Just look at it. Take yourself under your wing and ask, where did I learn that? Where did I learn to respond that way? It doesn't agree with me anymore. I don't like that response. So I need to understand, where on earth did I learn that so I can give it back? I don't need to do that anymore. I didn't like it when it was done to me. In fact, I hated it when it was done to me. So I'm not going to do that to other people. Now I'm going to have to unlearn it. So have yourself a ritual. When you feel yourself getting annoyed or angry, breathe deeply and think, I remember that beautiful place that I went in nature that was so nourishing. And make a snapshot in your mind of something beautiful. And all of a sudden you feel better. And you can also do, this is a popular exercise, the people who developed what is called the Heart Math, at the Heart Math Institute, call it freeze frame. They say, when you feel something coming up that you know you don't want there, you freeze. Don't let yourself express it. Don't even let yourself feel it. Remember that game? Did you ever play that game when you were a child? Freeze. You stop yourself in your tracks. And then you breathe. And by the time you've done that, it's a whole lot easier not to express it. Then you can sit back and look at the situation and say, well, is this really all that important? If it's someone I used to trust and they've done something despicable, well, that's it. I see what it is. I'll take it for granted that that's what it is. Makes life a whole lot easier. Maybe I can forgive people who've done really awful things to me, but that doesn't mean I have to invite them to my party. Maybe I see things in the world that are really difficult, unfortunate, cruel even. I don't like it, but that doesn't mean I have to get angry about it, because of course that doesn't help. So what's the point? Well, I hope that I hope there are some of you listening who were the ones who wrote angry responses to our message. I hope you're still listening, because it's important. It's important that you ease those feelings in yourself, that you be tolerant even of your own mistakes, and that you simply learn. We have something we want all of you to think about. You are perfect just as you are, and you're learning. And there is nothing better than that. There is nothing more than that. That is sufficient. And we also want you to know that we love you unconditionally. Even if you have gotten angry, even if you have done some things you regret, you will work on it. You will learn. And as you do, you raise your vibration. And the more you raise your vibration, the higher you raise yourself up. And the higher you raise yourself up, the more exciting and wonderful and pleasant and fulfilling experiences you will have. And now, let's take a breath. We're moving on. I suggest, if any of you still have questions, go back and read the messages again and read them carefully. We dictated those to Kathryn, word by word, very carefully, to express to you our love, our concern, and the lesson that we hoped you would learn. If you read those messages with an open heart, you will feel the love and the support that we were sending you all the time in each one. Use that to strengthen yourselves. use it to learn. And of course, it's better to learn the lessons now because you don't want to have to do this again. So use those gifts we give you. They come from our heart. They are meant to help you. They are not a trick. They are not a manipulation. They are simple lessons offered with love. And now we're going to ask if Zorra would like to come and speak with you. And I hear Zorra here. Now let's turn the phone over to Anne. So Anne can do a little introduction, and then Kathryn can speak to Zorra, and they can get ready to do their channeling. How would that be, Anne?
It sounds wonderful, and I really enjoyed your message today.
Thank you.
I don't see how people cannot understand the importance. It's hard for us to see ourselves when we're within the situation. We have to have an example like this made of ourselves that we can back off and take a look and see and analyze. And I'm just so glad that you explained all this. I think it was wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, dear.
And we'll go ahead now and let Kathryn do a little bridge here as she changes her channel to a different frequency, leaving her connection now with Mother, Father, God to rest as we wait for Zorra from Hollow Earth to join us. And it could be in the same form of channeling that Mother, Father, God just used, or it could be in trance channeling, where Kathryn actually steps out of her body entirely and occupies Zorra's body while he has full access to her body. He can walk around, he can pick up things. I've seen him in his son's body. I've seen the transition. And so we don't know if this will be a trans channeling or if it will be one of Kathryn's standard channels, as we've been hearing all along. But Zorra, are you here?
Yes, beloved one. It is I, Zorra. Greetings, everyone. Yes, I am here to speak with you. We have accomplished quite a bit here. Kathryn is becoming more comfortable, allowing me to speak with her voice. We have done what you might call a compromise. She is going off to spend time at Hollow Earth while I speak with all of you. And we will see how this goes. It is an exciting time, indeed. We have worked hard, all of us, haven't we?
Yes, we have, Zorra. Some of us for over 2 years learning from you.
Indeed. And what an adventure it was. Many have learned from us, have taken these words, have used them. You have done a beautiful job inviting people. You're so cordial and kind, and it helped people to learn these things that are so strange to them initially. What you might call weird. but it was effective. You gathered many around to listen. When I had stories to tell, when I had information to bring. Now you may notice my use of the past tense. This does not mean I'm leaving for good, because of course Kathryn has offered to allow me to use her voice, and we're adapting to that. You'll notice every once in a while I'm able to come through fully, and you will hear the voice of Zorra speaking to you. Now, dear ones, you have had some shocks. You have had what you might term confusion, upset. Many new things are happening. I have one more new thing to introduce to you. We have told you it is the time for all of you to reveal your true identities. We have asked Master Kathryn, Master Lady Nada, to reveal themselves to you, because we felt it would be very helpful for people to know that they have these wonderful masters amongst them. And indeed, it has accomplished that purpose. And now, dear ones, it is my turn to acknowledge what you may have suspected, what you may have felt, my true identity. It is Father God. I have enjoyed presenting my ideas, my feelings, my thoughts to you under the name of Zorra. I do enjoy having an accent. That was really the only part that was unknown to you, the name. All else was certainly exactly who I am. I spoke with you from my heart. I introduce ideas to you as I know them to be true. But it is time for me to acknowledge that the one you call Zorra has been all along Father God. Now, does that disturb you? Does that upset you? Why would it? You have had many teachers in your lives who were angels in disguise. You have had friends who were ascended masters. They didn't reveal their identities to you. And this is not what you might term deception. It is simply a convenient way to present those ideas we hold dear to our hearts, those thoughts we wish to express. So, for a while, I talked to you and said, this is Zorra. Well, this is Zorra. This is also Father God. And now I suppose there will be many who want to ask questions, who may wish to know things about this. But I will tell you before you ask, I had no intention of deceiving you. I simply liked talking with you. I liked the fact that you felt comfortable with me. I liked that you felt close to me. There were no barriers between us because of preconceived ideas about who Father God might be. You accepted me as someone new, someone you didn't know. That was very convenient, was it not? It allowed me to become what you might term equal with you. You may have seen me as your teacher, but it did not cloud your opinion of who I was or your expectation of what I could bring to you. You evaluated each message on your own terms, as you should, always. And now I reveal to you my identity behind the identity of Zorra. Does it change anything? Does it matter? Question. Does it matter?
Are you asking me, who has joked and had fun with you for over 2 years, as a good friend?
Yes, dear.
Well, we're learning in large leaps and bounds these days. It's lesson after lesson, and it's kind of overwhelming.
Oh. You see, this is why I called myself Zorra.
Yes.
You might have hesitated to joke with me as freely.
I think so.
You might have hesitated to visit with me and sit beside me so freely.
It's been wonderful, and we've all, speaking of those who have started with this, the 6 of us on April the 16th
indeed.
of 11, and as others have been attracted to your messages and asked their questions, and we were like children sitting on the ground listening to our teacher and loving our teacher. We've all bonded with you so closely and intimately. As you say, there was no barriers because of title, our extreme
Indeed.
reverence. We felt so at home and so loving and so comfortable with you over these more than 2 years now.
Indeed, beloved one. Would it have been so comfortable, so friendly, so intimate if I had revealed to you initially that this is who I am?
Oh, no. I think we would have been fearful to breathe a word or ask one of our silly questions.
Oh, indeed. You understand then why I took on this name, this identity, as you would term it.
And I understand why we loved you so much, so deeply. We felt so. People would count the days until the next call. They lived for the calls and for the connection.
What you felt, dear, is my essence, which is pure love.
Yes.
It is what I wished to teach you. And by having this close connection, this time together, where you truly did come to know me as a person, you might say, it gave you a much better understanding of who Father God really is. I do not ask you to understand everything, of course, but it was very helpful to see so many of you feeling the warmth that I express toward you always.
Yes.
And now to know that this is God. This is what God is made of. And that never changes. Whether you call me Zorra or Jehovah or Yahweh or Allah or Shiva or Grace. It is all the same. Pure love is what we feel toward you. And I speak for Mother God as well when I say that. We feel unconditional, pure love. Besides, I enjoy saying, indeed.
That was so good to hear. Oh,
indeed.
And how be you, beloved Master? Your old password as you entered our conversations every other Saturday. What are we going to do this Saturday?
Well, let's put our heads together and think about that. I think there are plenty of things to do and to say. And there will be plenty of news to share with you. So I do not suggest that you eliminate these calls. They are precious to many. I will come. And now, of course, I must come as Father God, unless you wish for me to do my Zorra speech. And I would be happy to do that.
Well, I think we need to, I think this is a growing experience, and we need to be willing to see you and identify with you in your pure essence and not choose to ignore it. That wouldn't be right.
This is why we love you so, dear. You grasp the importance and the truth behind what it is we are trying to do. Indeed. We will continue and with your help, bring forth the understanding, the depth of the relationship that it is possible to have between human and God. It is not the same as child and parent, not the same as child and human parent anyway, but there is a similarity. It's teacher and student. What we want you all to know is our essence, which is pure love. And we also want you to know that we wish to have a close working relationship with you, as we have done on these calls. We wish for that to continue and expand to the many who will come. What do you think, dear one?
Well, I think we built a wonderful, solid foundation. I can't speak for everyone, because as we just learned in our recent test, we all respond differently, but each of us will grow from where we are. That can't be avoided. The growth will come depending on where each person is. But
Indeed.
The knowingness and togetherness must develop, yes.
Absolutely. And we will continue. We have worked well together, have we not?
It's been wonderful. The most wonderful time of this whole incarnation. It's been wonderful.
And we shall continue. We shall continue to bring the sense of compassion, camaraderie, the intimacy, answering questions, reassuring people of their fears. And now they will know who is really behind the answers. I can encourage Kathryn to cultivate the accent if necessary. It's still fun.
Well, we do love it, you know.
Then we shall work on that. But it is a very important time. You probably suspect that the reason I am telling you this now, all of you, has something to do with the changes that are taking place now. Of course, that is the reason. We are coming to a conclusion, not an end. It is really a beginning. But it is a beginning that will bring closer and closer communication between you and your God, between you and your I Am presence. We are here to teach you that. The joy of being close. And that we will continue.
It will be a whole new experience, and I kind of think we will come to there will be a bridge when we need to keep the compassion and the intimacy and a bit of the fun to
Indeed.
touch our human hearts and feel comfortable and just as much at home with you.
And I count on you, dear Lady Master, to set that tone, to encourage others to continue as you do. You will help with that, as you always have. And they will learn. They will see how we relate to one another, how trusting we are of one another, and they too will want to be part of this family.
Yes.
And now I know that Saint Germain has something he wishes to tell you. I think there will also be many questions, but let us allow our dear Saint Germain to have his moment, and then when there is time, we will go back to questions.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Kathryn will have to pull herself loose from Hollow Earth now and come back up here on the surface with us.
I hear my voice, my name.
Oh, Kathryn, this is such a call. Oh, you'll have to listen to it. I don't know if you were able to peek in.
I couldn't help but I sort of had a half an ear. I'm not sure if I understood everything, but I will definitely listen.
Absolutely, absolutely. The growth that we're going through is a stretch, but I think we're up to it. And
it certainly is a time to stretch.
Oh,
but this
gosh.
is what we were promised, isn't it?
And if we want to grow and get ready, we've got to grow and get ready.
Right. I, for one, am very happy that we have this forum to do that, and that we can offer it to others as well.
Yes.
This really very open and intimate and sharing environment, where Zorra really did set the tone of anything goes, you know? He was very good at that. You could ask any kind of question, any kind of
I know.
A feeling.
Just so it was a relationship that was with so many, and yet it was always intimate at the same time.
Indeed. I feel Zorra is still here. I feel his presence. He wanted to get that in. Although I have
just
to admit,
overwhelming.
Oh, yes. Well, you've had such a close relationship with him over the years, so.
I was very fortunate.
Mhm.
Very fortunate. It just, it's the old saying: when the door opens, walk through.
Yeah.
And the door just kept opening, and look where we've arrived.
And the door has opened yet again.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and now it's time to channel Saint Germain.
Okay.
So
are you ready? You need a minute here.
Give me a couple of seconds.
I will. I'll just chat away and let them know that we're all here learning and growing and experiencing and being overwhelmed together. In such a wonderful family unit, and so blessed to be right here learning such extraordinary truths. And right now we're waiting for Kathryn, our dear channel, who is adjusting again to bring us Saint Germain, who is part of our cosmic family. You know our group, and Saint Germain is right there. It's all part of our family cosmic group. And Saint Germain, are you here?
I am. Greetings, dear Anne. Lady Nada. It is a pleasure. Well, I have some interesting information for everyone. Where shall I begin? You have had plenty of surprises already, but I have another surprise. It has to do with the funds that you have been told so many times will be distributed. I have a little progress report for you. I'm not going to tell you exactly the moment that the disbursements will happen. I will not do that to you. But I will give you an update. There have been many people working with me over many years to arrange the access and the distribution of trillions of dollars. Those trillions of dollars have been held in various places around the world. And over these many years, they have been in the hands of very carefully chosen people who, many of them, lived to be very old. One case, a man in Japan who has worked with our dear brother who called Kathryn last night to tell her of this news. And now that she knows, I'm certain it's all right to tell everyone else. These funds, one small part of the storehouse of gold that has been preserved over these many years, was passed from the man in Japan who was 94, who found his contact shortly before he died. And those funds, through the work of this very dedicated, honorable man whom you will come to know very soon, he has worked diligently for 9 years. And when I tell you the program he has designed, you will be dumbfounded. He has managed to arrange for funds to be given to every country on the planet, every UN member has now been given enormous amounts of money to be distributed to the people of that country. The total funds that he is moving around the world came to $245 trillion. That will be just one of the gifts that will be distributed. Now, we are taking great care not to endanger anyone we have worked with. There are still those who would like to make trouble. They're being removed little by little, but there are still a few left, the lower level minions, as we call them. There may still be some left who think that they'd like to make a name for themselves by interfering or making trouble. We don't want that. We're moving very carefully, very cautiously. We also do not wish. Do I hear you gasping, dear?
I'm trying to be cool about this.
Well, I cannot tell you how excited we have been. It's difficult to keep these things secret, you know. But there have been requirements that you may understand and those listening may understand. This is a very complex process. We do not wish to upset the entire planet. We do not wish to take down all the systems and all the governments of the world. We are moving carefully and with cooperation from all the countries in the world, at least pockets of those good people who are helping us. There are other funds which are being dispersed in a slightly different way. Those monies will be distributed to various organizations, nonprofits. We wish to reach the people who are in the greatest need first. That has been done carefully. But as you can imagine, the easing that will take place will happen gradually. People will learn to not worry anymore.
Oh, that's wonderful. I've heard so many stories just recently of, people have almost reached the limit of endurance and they don't see any way out. And if they can just have a little relief and know that it is going to progress and become more, to ease this terrible stress that they're trying to live through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wonderful.
Yes, but much of the stress that you live through now has to do with this stranglehold, of course, of the cabal that has had a hold on everyone.
Yes.
With their extortion and their blackmail and their skimming off money and so forth. So when that stops, everyone's life will be easier, even if there weren't large disbursements.
Yeah.
By stopping the punishment, it takes a terrible psychological toll on people to know that they are being enslaved.
Yeah.
The feelings are more stressful even than the need.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling that you're being mistreated, that you're being misused, that your work is being co-opted for some purpose that you can't even begin to discover. This is why people become so resentful. This is why people have learned to mistrust their government, because no one knows where all this money has been going.
Yes.
Into whose pockets are we pouring all of our hard-earned money? And that is punishing to a person's dignity.
Yes.
This we wish to change immediately. And when that changes, people will begin to say, well, I'm not as poor as I thought I was. I have friends. We have food on the table. We are rich. as long as we're not being misused,
Yes.
as long as we're not suffering for someone else's greed,
Yes.
the feelings will begin to lift. The terrible torment of not knowing what's going to come next, not knowing how you will take care of your family, not knowing whether your children will get to have any advantages at all as they grow up. These feelings have been so stressful and painful to so many. And of course, you live in a very rich country. There are many across the globe who suffer daily hunger. And even then, they have learned to keep going, to have faith. And dear ones, your faith will be greatly repaid, because things are going to get easier. That we promise you. And it will not be next year. It will not be next lifetime. It will be, well, we'll use the word, the S word. It will be soon.
All right, we can use it this time.
I hope it reassures you all to know that the funds are in place, and the people who are to distribute them know what their job will be and how it is to be done.
Mm.
So, as you would say, the stars are aligning. And now, perhaps we should give your poor listeners a moment to get their words in. I know our time is short, and there are many.
Oh, we only have 12 minutes left? Oh, my heavens. And I've got callers galore. Well, we can't get them all.
Namaste, everyone. And dear Anne, why don't you proceed to take a few callers who I'm sure have many questions.
Oh, yes, I'll ask for guidance to pick the right ones with the right questions in our 12 remaining minutes here. You know, this call has been so engrossing that time has just stood still. I haven't watched the clock, and now we have less than 12 minutes. I can't believe it.
This is Kathryn. I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
There is the 4th caller. Yeah. I'm going to open this line. The 4th caller. I'm going to open this line. It's area code 719.
I see what you mean.
Area code 719. And they have their phones mixed up.
Oh, Jane, you better not get too close to the other phone.
Okay.
It's echoing.
719.
Hello.
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 This is Billy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. No, Zorra.
Zorra. Hi, Zorra.
I have this news for me just sort of blew me out of I fell off my chair. I fell off the couch. The question I have is if my father is Father God, that would mean my mother is Mother God, and what does that make me?
That makes you a son of God.
Well, yeah, but a son of God, yes, I understand that, but I'm not Sananda.
No, but we all are I think this is just the point, isn't it? We all are sons and daughters of God.
Yeah, I understand that.
You just happen to have had a little closer relationship since you trade bodies.
You think?
Oh, it's so confusing. I guess it will all, as we evolve and expand into full fifth dimension, be able to better comprehend these layers of identity that many of us had been exhibiting, myself included. We've had a lot to learn and accept, and it's hard to do sometimes.
Right. That's true. Kathryn, is it okay if we call you after the call? We'd like to ask you something else too.
So I can channel Zorra and you can talk to him?
Well, no, I'm not worried about that.
Okay. That's sure.
Fine. That's fine. Okay. But
yeah, so we can talk further, Kathryn.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That would be
fine.
fine.
A wonderful message.
Yeah, go ahead and let someone else ask a question.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Fine. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Somebody's been waiting for 59 minutes. Shall we go for that one, Kathryn?
Definitely. Let's.
Okay, I'm opening it up. Uh-oh. Did I lose them? Anyway, I've got area code 515 ending in 0970. We'd like your name, where you're calling from, and your brief question. Your line is open. Area code 515. Moving on. Let's see. What a shame. Here's 37 minutes. Someone's been waiting. I'm going to open your line. I first one. We only have one open here.
Who do we have coming through now?
Hello.
This is area code 786. If you're on an open speaker, please turn off the speaker. If you're on a cell phone, we can't do it.
I'm off speakerphone. One moment, please. Here.
Okay, I'm going to have to turn this one off. And we'll go here to area code 360. Area code 360-2206, last numbers. Your question, please.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're doing great.
I'm here.
Come on.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, another question came up while during all this. I was wondering why now? Why we're told now that Father, Mother Yah's been Zorra all this time. But I did have another question that's been burning, and I'd like to know what if there's any sort of energy of the spirit of a body after it's been buried, after passing on to heaven. Is there any significance to a grave anymore? Is there any connection to the spirit that was in that body? Just really curious about that. I was just planting flowers over our dog's grave today, and I was feeling him, and I was wondering why, if they're still there partly.
Well,
so
we could call on someone, or I can answer that question from my own experience. This is Kathryn. I know that the purpose of a grave is to allow us the ritual and the connection that we still feel to the body, even though the person who's left it feels no connection to the actual body in the grave. They're not there. They're off doing their lessons and their work and visiting you at home. So they're not held to the body, no. Once a person passes, the cord is broken.
Okay.
So there is no longer a vital connection to the body itself. But
so
people do. They do appreciate it if you say hello to them, if you honor them, if you speak with them, and people sometimes go to the grave to talk to their loved ones. you don't have to go to the grave to do that.
Mhm.
Okay. That was great. I think that meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to try to slip in someone that's been waiting 55 minutes in area code 405, ending in 0316. And we're down to 4 minutes, so a quick question from area code 405.
Yes, this is Bill from Oklahoma.
Go ahead, Bill.
I was wondering, when they do the initial announcements, what is some of the information that's going to be covered initially?
I think we'll find that out in the initial announcements.
Yes, can we get a preview?
I've asked Saint Germain that question about a dozen times, and they don't give me any details. So they're not going to give us details about what will be announced or how it will be announced because they have to do it gradually.
Not even a major outline?
No.
Okay.
No. It's done this way, I know, because we need to, just as a lot of people have felt over the last week, we need to get used to this little by little.
Can they say
if we
who
had
will
the
be
major
giving
outline,
the announcements?
Pardon me?
Can they say who will be giving the announcements?
The people that are in place now and who are ready to do it. We'll find out who they all are. I know one of them is our president, but there will be many more, I'm sure. There will be people all over the world who've been working on this.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I think we just have to keep our frequencies and vibrations up so high on this planet right now that we have to keep the door open. It's up to us. If we slide back, we're going to slow it up. So we can't indulge in irritation and anger and finger pointing and things of that nature. Our job is to hold the vibrations up and the light in the world so it can happen.
Right. Yes. And that's true every minute of every day.
At every turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this line. And, Kathryn, I think we're down to 2 minutes. I'll let you go ahead and close the call. It's too late to do any other questions.
You think we shouldn't let...
I don't know. Here we can try this one real quick.
Somebody can ask
I'm sorry. That was 7.
There's a lesson. Now, there's a lesson about not turning on your speakerphone when you want to get on the show.
Oh, yeah. I tried to. Now we're down to less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's unrealistic.
I think so.
To carry this too much further, we will be here again next Wednesday at the same time. And those who still have questions, by all means, come back and ask them. But who knows? Maybe they will all be answered by next week. Things are moving.
And we'll see you on Saturday,
fast.
Kathryn, right?
Oh, yes. We'll be on the Saturday call.
And I'll have to get set up. It'll be on Blog Talk Radio. And watch our announcements as they come out on breaking news and the newsletter as to how we'll do it this coming Saturday. With Kathryn?
Right.
Yes.
Let's tell them this. We're doing it on Blog Talk Radio so that people from all over the world can call in and not, on their computers instead of on their telephone line. So it will be free for anywhere on the planet.
And it'll be Kathryn bringing Father God through, also known as Zorra.
Yes. All right, everyone. We're down to the last seconds here. I will say good night. Good night, Anne, and thank you so much.
Good night, Kathryn. This has been wonderful.
Yes, and be sure, everyone, to check. Anne's very good at keeping up with all the announcements, so the best information is always on her website. And she gets it from my website, too. So it'll all be there, and Anne will give you the previews and the announcements. And for now, good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.